Rangers, and welcome to Ranger Ruby YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be going over the different types of national park designations and what they protect. Let's go ahead and dive right on in. So as you may or may not already know, there are different types of national parks. You can see national monuments, national seashores, national historic sites, and all of these national parks under the NPS seem to have different names. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about what these different names mean. First off, these names are called designations. They're what designates the national park site. These names serve several purposes, but the main one is to tell the visitor or whoever is talking about this specific site what it is, what it protects, and it gives you a rough idea of what you can find inside the national park just from the name. You don't have to know any previous information. It also gives you a clue as to how the national park site might have been created and what kind of funding it gets. But again, the main purpose that this serves is to tell you what's inside the national park. Especially in recent years, Congress and the National Park Service have attempted to simplify the nomenclature and establish basic criteria for the use of the different official titles. The national park can be split into two kind of unofficial types of national parks, and these are the nature-focused national parks and the historical-focused national parks. On the nature side, we have obviously the name national park. And national parks usually contain a variety of resources and encompass large amounts of land or water areas to help provide adequate protection of the resources that can be found inside. So generally, the biggest kinds of parks that you'll see will be national parks. That's not to say that all national parks only protect the natural resources. Obviously, the history is interwoven within it, but its main purpose is to protect things that are found out in nature, that naturally occur, and the history that comes along with that area of land. A national monument is intended to preserve at least one nationally significant resource. It is usually smaller than a national park and lacks the diversity of attractions. Also, these are easier to create due to the Iniquities Act of 1906, so there are a lot more of them than there are national parks. Next up, there are national preserves. This category was founded primarily for the protection of certain resources. Activities like hunting and fishing or the extractions of minerals and fuels may be permitted if they do not jeopardize the national resources or values. National reserves are similar to preserves, and management may be transferred to local or state authorities. The first reserve was City of Rocks, was established in 1988, and the first national preserve was Big Cypress and Big Thicket. And also in this nature category, we have national lakeshores and national seashores. It's kind of obvious what these protects, but they preserve shorelines, both inland and outland, and their focus is providing water-oriented recreation. Although national lakeshores can be established on any freshwater lake, the existing four are all located in the Great Lakes in the United States. And national seashores are all over the United States, on the Atlantic, the Gulf, and the Pacific coast. And continuing on with this water theme, we've got national rivers and wild scenic riverways. They preserve free-flowing streams in their immediate environment and at least one outstandingly remarkable natural, cultural, or recreational value or resource. They must flow naturally without major alteration of the waterway by dams, divisions, or otherwise any alterations. And besides protecting, enchanting, and enhancing the rivers, these areas provide opportunities for other outdoor activities such as hiking, canoeing, and hunting. And the next two are National Scenic Trails and National Historic Trails. The only difference is that National Scenic Trails are generally long-distance footpaths winding through areas of natural beauty, and National Historic Trails recognize original trails or routes of travel of national or historical significance. And moving on to kind of the other side of the National Park Service, we've got the historical parks. In recent years, National Historic Site has been the title most commonly applied by Congress in authorizing the addition of such areas to the National Park Service. However, a wide variety of titles can be seen, such as National Military Park, National Battlefield Park, National Battlefield Site, and just National Battlefield. They have been used for areas associated with American military history specifically, but other areas such as national monuments and national historical parks make features including the military history, but also other aspects of United States history as well. National historical parks are more commonly areas of greater physical extent and complexity than national historic sites, and the lone international historic site refers to a site relevant to both the United States and Canadian history. The title National Memorial is more often used for areas that are primarily commemorative. They need not to be sites or structures historically associated with their subjects. For example, the home of Abraham Lincoln is in Springfield, Illinois, is a National Historic Site, but the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. is a national memorial. Originally, national recreation areas in the park systems were units surrounding reservoirs impounded by dams built by other federal agencies. The concept of recreational areas, however, has grown to encompass other lands and waters set aside for recreational use by acts of Congress, and now includes major urban centers. And then we also here have national parkways. They encompass ribbons of land flanking roadways and offer other opportunities with driving through areas of scenic interest. Then there is this other kind of weird, unknown category in the National Park Service. One area of the NPS system that is set aside primarily for a site for the performing arts. This would be Wolf Trap National Park for the performing arts in Virginia, America's first national park that was set aside specifically for its performing arts. Other two historical areas that you might know of are Ford's Theater National Historic Site in Washington, D.C., and Mazel National Memorial in Texas. So that's it. Those are all the different kinds of historical, natural, significant national parks and what they protect. If you'd like to find out more information on each of these national park sites that I listed, I will be leaving a link in the description down below to a National Park Service article where I got all this information from. Well, everybody, that is the end in today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up and comment down below with your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Also, be sure to click that red subscribe button and the little bell next to it to always know when I post new videos. Thank you so much for watching again, and I shall see you next video. Bye!